Um, yeah. So where was I? So like at 10:28 or so, 10:27, 10:28, I decided to wrap up the rest of my sandwich, put it in my backpack, and then get on the bus. And that's when all the real trouble began. And the guy knew obviously he like surely should have whatever known that I was going to get back on the bus with the backpack, because I took the backpack on the first time I got on the bus when he was complaining about the fact I did have the sandwich. And I didn't explain this before, so let me explain that. When he stopped me, he stopped me in a very aggressive, controlling, authoritarian kind of way the first time I got on the bus, and that's one thing that provoked me, is I didn't like at all the way he just stopped me. He said something like, "No," and put his hand out or something. I think he physically touched me that time, so that offended me, and I said, like, "Moment," which usually everybody in the world understands. So I thought he wanted me to put my shirt on, so I was going to put my shirt on, and then I thought, well, maybe he doesn't want me to walk on with the sandwich. He didn't tell me what he didn't like. He just like grunted basically and put his hand out. So so I said, "What's your problem?" I said, "Is it the sandwich or my shirt?" And I might have said a few other things too. Well, I'm sure I did actually later. But anyhow, I definitely said, like, "What's your problem, the sandwich or the shirt?" And he pointed to the sandwich. So I said something like, "Jesus Christ." Yeah, I'm a little bit hot-headed myself. So anyhow, so I get off the bus, I put on my shirt and start eating the sandwich, and then you know the rest of the story. When I tried to get back on. So anyhow, the driver was sitting there and the assistant was walking around, and I think they were both smoking, by the way. So anyhow, maybe they wanted a little extra time to smoke, and that's why they didn't let people on the bus. Who knows? Or also they just didn't want to get on the bus. So I think maybe they're supposed to be on the bus when the people get on. I don't know. But anyhow, so at this point it's like, to me, I think looking back, I think he knew that I was planning to take the backpack on the bus, and maybe he was planning not to let me on with the backpack. I don't know. Maybe he thought, one of my other thoughts was, maybe the guy thought that I was going to take out the sandwich and eat it against his orders, like this little power struggle that we got into, because he had to feel in control. So to make sure I didn't eat the sandwich on his bus, he wouldn't let me on the bus at all with the backpack. I don't know what the guy was thinking. I really don't know. I don't know what his issues are, but obviously he's a bit of a control freak, and he was probably hit as a kid. I'll go into a little psychoanalysis. In fact, I'd pretty much guarantee he was hit as a kid, and he probably has no problem at all hitting people when they don't do what he tells them to do. So anyhow, hopefully the world is changing a little bit, and we won't have people like this driving buses, even though they still exist in the world. So I don't know, but I feel pretty satisfied at least that this manager took me seriously. And again, I don't really want these guys punished, but I do want them off the buses. Because I don't think you're going to change their personalities to make them friendly, cooperative, flexible, open-minded, and interested in speaking English to the tourists, or interested in speaking to the tourists at all. So, so I feel satisfied that this guy is actually going to get them, as he put it, dismissed. I wouldn't really care if these guys work as mechanics, although they might not even really do a good job at that. I don't know what's going to happen to these guys, but so I feel bad. On the one hand, I feel bad because they're going to lose their jobs, I guess. On the other hand, I feel satisfied because my letter did make a difference, and I guess you could say I think the world is a better place now because these guys aren't driving international buses and treating people like this. And I don't know, I feel encouraged, I guess, because this manager wrote me a letter that I probably couldn't have dreamed of ever receiving. So thank you, Rajko, for your letter.